Meanwhile, the body of a fisherman who had faced an accident at sea in April was brought to the Suduvalla fishing harbour in Devundra by his crewmates this morning.
The fishing craft Manoj Putta had set out to sea from the Suduvalla fishing harbour in Devunra, Matara on the 27th of April. The craft had developed a mechanical failure while at sea, and the fisherman had decided to travel to Indonesia to repair it. 54-year-old R.T. Sunil had died on the 29th of June on the craft's journey back to Sri Lanka following repairs. The fishermen aboard the craft had taken measures to bring the body back home on ice and reached the Devundra Suduvalla fishing harbour at about 7 a.m. this morning. The post-mortem examination on the body was conducted at the Suduvalla fishing harbour, following which it was taken to a funeral parlour. Meanwhile, News First U reporter URT Priyanta submitted footage of the body being brought to the Suduvalla fishing harbour.
Meanwhile, an individual has been reported missing after two fishing vessels which set out to sea from Chilao last evening capsized. However, the other three persons on board had managed to swim ashore.
Persons had set out to sea on two vessels from the Alutwalla and Ridiwalla areas in Chilao. Their vessels had capsized at mid-sea, but 3 or 4 persons managed to swim ashore at around 5:30 this morning. Just as we were setting out, the boat toppled. I was inside. Later, we saw that he was missing. The missing person has been identified as 56-year-old Michael Nelson Fernando, a resident of Ridiwalla.
They say that he is missing, but I do not know. We are not being told exactly what happened. He is a good swimmer.
Our correspondent, who said fishermen set out to sea from alternate locations as sand has filled up in the Chilao Lagoon, noted that this was the main cause for such accidents. Problems arise because there is no estuary here. Every year we ask that they build an estuary here. 7 or 8 lives are lost every year due to the lack of an estuary.
The 4th Diyasara Student Circle was set up at the PDS Kularatna Vidyalaya in Ambalangoda by News First in Eslon. The aim of the initiative is to create awareness among students on the importance of water conservation.
Certificates were presented to 40 students who joined the Diyasara Student Circle at the PDS Kularatna Vidyalaya in Ambalangoda. MMSA Marasinghe, who is a lecturer at the Rajaraja University, delivered the keynote address at the event.
The Capital Maharaja Organization and the Sirasa Media Network and News First always try to go beyond their media duties to introduce creative new things to the people of this country. The Sirasa Media Network has constantly been with the people during times of happiness and sadness. They have also been part of the people, and the people have always been with the Capital Maharaja Organization and News First.
අපි මේ දෙගොල්ල එක්කහුව වෙලා මේ පාසල් වලට ඇවිල්ලා මේ දියසර ශිෂ්‍ය කවය කියලා එකක් පිහිටවන්න උත්සාහ කරා.
We have come together to set up the Diyasara Student Circle. What are we attempting to do? Do you know that 11% of the world's population do not have access to drinking water? 783 million people do not have access to drinking water. 2.5 billion do not have sanitation facilities. 18% of our country's population do not have access to drinking water.
2.5 ඉන්නවා. මේ බිලියන 2.5 බිලියනයක් ඉන්නේ. 1 බිලියනයක් ඉන්නේ ළමයි. ලංකාවේ 118කට තවමත් හරි හමන් හැටියට වතුර ටිකක් හොයාගන්න නැහැ.
Through the Diyasara Student Circle, we hope to provide a message to the future generation on the importance of water conservation.
Reuters reports that the much delayed Kudankulam nuclear power plant in southern India has got the clearance from the Atomic Energy Regulatory Board for power generation. Now, for the last few months, Kudankulam has been the epicenter of a wave of heated protests, with environmental activists and agitators voicing their ire at what they say are the government's apathy towards the dangers posed by the plants. India's junior minister in the Prime Minister's office, V. Narayanasamy, said that the nuke plant was 100% ready as the authorities ensured its safety. The Kudankulam plant will provide 2 gigawatts of electricity, enough to power millions of Indian homes and relieve a power crisis in Tamil Nadu. India plans to add 63 gigawatts of nuclear power by building 30 reactors by 2032.
Natural sandbars off the coast were among the factors that mitigated the effect of the 2004 tsunami on the western and northwestern coasts. With the imposition of limitations on sand mining in rivers, there is now greater demand for sea sand. With the need to reach equilibrium in demand and supply, the natural sandbars off the coast have become a hunting ground for sand miners. Although the Geological Survey and Mines Bureau has issued permits for sand mining, the neglect that is shown in ensuring that the conditions of the permits are being followed by the permit holders has resulted in environmental destruction. At present, there is major sea erosion taking place in Kalpitia and Norocholai. If the sea was to claim this area, then you would not find any of these sand smugglers coming to the aid of the people residing here. The people of Toduawa and Mukku Toduawa in Mundalam are raising these concerns of sea erosion because of the crisis that they are facing at the moment as a result of wells in the area drying up due to sand mining that is taking place off the coast. Access roads to the area have also been damaged as a result of the mass transportation of sand.
This is a major problem. Numerous accidents are caused by this. The walls of houses have cracked, coconut trees are dying and the wells are drying up.
Shouldn't attention be paid towards the plight of this coastal population? Shouldn't the issuing of permits for such sand mining be subject to reconsideration? Chairman of the Geological Survey and Mines Bureau, this is over to you.
On business news tonight, the Pathfinder Foundation says that although 32% of the working population in the country are farmers, they contribute only 11% to the gross domestic product. The foundation says that this is the root cause for low productivity in the agricultural sector.
The Pathfinder Foundation points out that the main issue faced by the agricultural sector at present is that an income matching the expenditure incurred is not generated. Therefore, Executive Director of the Pathfinder Foundation, Lakshman Siriwardena, says those engaged in the agricultural sector have become low-income earners.
Need for increasing the agriculture productivity in Sri Lanka if we are to maintain a higher level of growth, and also to ensure that the poor farmers of this country get an increased income. In order to increase the productivity of the agriculture sector, you need to introduce certain fundamental changes and structural changes to the land ownership, land titling, and also the government-owned land, leasing them or selling them to the private sector should have a very clear policy direction. In addition to that, further land consolidation may be necessary to ensure that higher productivity is achieved from a unit of land and unit of finance that is invested on a land.
Well, starting off sports news with cricket. Sri Lanka and India played out a knife-edge thriller of a final for the Caribbean Tri-Series trophy at Port of Spain yesterday. Now, once again, it was Indian skipper Mahendra Singh Dhoni who ended the final with a trademark heave for 6, which handed the world champions the series.
Invited to bat first, Sri Lanka did not have the best of starts when they lost opener Upul Taranga for 11 runs and Mahela Jayawardene featuring in his 400th ODI for 22 runs. A 122-run third-wicket stand between Kumar Sangakkara and Lahiru Thirimanne gave Sri Lanka a good platform to post a competitive total. However, following the dismissal of the pair, Sri Lanka failed to capitalize on the opportunity to make a good total as the last 6 batsmen made only single figures and the Lankans were bundled out for 201 runs in 48.5 overs. Chasing 202 runs for victory, India lost opener Shikhar Dhawan and Virat Kohli early in the innings. However, a half-century from Rohit Sharma and a quick-fire 32 from Suresh Raina took the world number 1 team in ODIs closer to the 150-run mark. However, Angana Herak turned the tables, claiming 4 wickets in quick succession to leave the game evenly poised. In the end, it was big hitting MS Dhoni and Ishant Sharma at the crease. With 15 needed in the last over, Dhoni made the final touches with 3 trademark blows to seal the game for India.
Well, also Sri Lankan skipper Angela Matthews has been suspended for 2 ODIs and the team members have been fined 40% of their match fee for maintaining a slow over rate in the final match. David Boone of the elite panel of ICC match referees imposed a suspension after Sri Lanka was ruled to be 3 overs short of their target at the end of the match when time allowances were taken into consideration.
Moving on to more cricket news, Test cricket's greatest rivalry, the Ashes, entered day 3 of the first Test today with England batting in their second innings at Trent Bridge, Nottingham.
Time around.
Earlier, England had posted 215 runs in their first innings, for which Australia replied with 280 runs. England resumed batting in their second innings today on an overnight score of 80 runs for 2 wickets. Home team skipper Alastair Cook and Kevin Pietersen put on a 110-run third-wicket stand, with both batsmen reaching half-centuries. Johnny Bairstow, who made 15 runs, was dismissed by the Aussie debutant Ashton Agar.
And gone. Sharp spin for Ashton Agar.
Matt Pryor was undone by Peter Siddle for 31 runs when the score was on 218.
Quite get hold of that. Siddle tries the shorter ball.
Ian Bell then registered England's third half-century of the innings.
Should be his 50. Really good innings. For the reason we just mentioned, that I think he would have felt on this.
The Horse were on 287 runs for 6 in their second innings a short while ago. With that, we wrap up Primetime News. I'm Stephanie Lazarus.
And I'm Shahan Jarangpathy. Have a pleasant weekend ahead of you. Good night and take care.
Hotline 0114-896-896. www.newsfirst.lk. Feedback